Holy crap, let me just tell you, the amount of books that are coming out for this week, I had to really dig deep for this week's top 10 most anticipated. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I'm your host Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the top 10 most anticipated comics. This is for December 11th, 2019. That's right, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully this video helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy, fans. Let me just tell you, out of the entire year that I've been doing the most anticipated list, this has been the most difficult one yet. There are so many books coming out for this particular week, I didn't even know where to rank these books. But I figured it out the best way that I possibly could. If I left some stuff out, let me know. And, again, this is my most anticipated, so yours could be a little bit different. So let's get going because this is a big list this week. Remember, if you like this video, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and don't forget to hit any of those notifications so you know that you get content from me. And I'm just letting you know again, this freaking video is not for fucking kids because it's not about the kids. It's about you guys, the older people. So I don't want this getting flagged for a kid video. So there you go. So anyway, here we go. We're going to kick this one off with the hot seat. That's right, fans. This is the book that could be dropped. I could keep it, but I think this time around, I might actually drop this book. And this one goes to The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is issue 14. Yeah, we're going backwards with this book, okay? Tom Taylor is a wonderful writer, and I always wanted him to write a Spider-Man book. Unfortunately, I think his hands are tied when it comes to this series because he's stuck within the realms of the neighborhood. So there's only so much you can do, right? And so what he created with is this New York that's like upside down and the people are red and stuff like that. And we visited it in this first story arc, and now we're going back to it. And what makes it worse is the artwork is horrible in this book now as well. And it's just boring and it doesn't seem to go anywhere. And the supporting cast ain't that great. And so I just find myself not interested. And it looks like I'm going to be dropping this book. All right. So we're going to do something that I don't normally do because, like I said, there's so many books out there this week. But I'm going to give an honorable mention. And this book definitely deserves its credit where credit is due. And this one goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 100, guys. This book is at its 100th issue. This book is $7.99 and it's 60 pages. This book has been going on for quite some time now, and if you're a TMNT fan, even if you haven't been reading this series, this is something that you might want to add to your collection because I think IDW has been doing a great job with it. I've read a few issues in the beginning. I actually dropped off of it, but I felt that it was worth the mention here just to remind you guys that this book is coming out this week. So TMNT issue 100. All right, so now we're going to officially kick off this countdown. And did my voice just crack there a little bit? I'm like a little kid again, you know? So here we go. Number 10 this week, fans. My most anticipated for 12/11. This one goes to Superman. This is issue 18. This is 32 pages, $3.99. And Superman's family is scattered across the galaxy, and the hero must confront some of his greatest concerns about himself, his place in the galaxy, and what's going to happen is basically it looks like that Clark is going to reveal that he's Superman, or Superman's going to reveal that he's Clark Kent. Now, how does he do this? I'm not sure. This is teased on the cover where you get to see him, holding his glasses in his suit and stuff like that. But knowing Michael Bendis, is he going to do the revelation in this particular issue? He might not. It could be just a tease. But this was good enough to make my top 10. I haven't read Superman as of late because I'm just not into Bendis' Superman. And we'll see what happens with it. All right, so moving forward to number 9 this week. And this goes to a tie. And I've never had a tie, but like I said, there were so many books this week that it was hard for me to make a real decision. But I was trying to go based off of number ones and new books that we haven't seen before and things like that. And so number 9 goes to Doom 2099 and also SpiderMan 2099. Both issue ones. The Doom, I think, is only a one-shot, but the SpiderMan 2099, I think, is an ongoing now. And with the Doom one, I'm really interested because he's like the main antagonist when it comes to this whole 29 situation that's going on with Miguel O'Hara. So I'm curious to see what happens. And then when it comes to Spider-Man 2099, Nick Spencer's writing that book as well. So I want to see what the outcome of this whole story is and what the future holds for Miguel O'Hara. There's a lot of Spider-Man 2099 fans out there. So again, really curious to see. But since these are both 2099 titles, that's why I got the tie this week. All right, so they're both $4.99 books, by the way. Next, number 8. This one goes to Undiscovered Country. This is issue 2. Now, the first book was freaking crazy, right? A lot of world building to see what the world was like in the first issue. The second issue, I didn't feel there was very much character development. And the man that sent the message that looked like Uncle Sam at the end is the one that's recruiting these guys. So we got to see this virus, and we got to see how United States was bordered off, and the world has changed drastically. So I want to see more character development when it comes to this book. This is what's really going to, I think, sell me on this. The first issue, I liked it, but it didn't really blow me away. It's different, and you got to give it time to develop. But again, characters are what really makes the book. So hopefully it continues to steadily improve and go up on this countdown each time it comes out. All right, so moving on. And number 7. And number 7 goes to Captain Marvel issue 13. Now, the last issue of this was pretty far out there, okay? All of a sudden, you see Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, she goes freaking dark. She's got this dark suit. She's freaking going after the Avengers. She's being possessed or controlled by some creature. I don't even know who he is or what he is. But she does battle against Thor, and she beats Thor. Not only does she beat him, supposedly, right, she chopped off his head and holds his head in front of this master that she's serving. And you're like, what? What the fuck is that, man? What is going on here? I can't see something sticking like that, because obviously Thor is getting his own book, and I don't know if that maybe is the real Thor or she's playing a trick on this guy. Like, there's no way, right? It was an epic battle in that issue. It was crazy. It was insane. I just don't know what to expect and what Avenger she's going to take on next. So this book is 32 pages, $3.99. All right, moving on to number 6. Number 6 goes to Morbius. This is issue 2. I really enjoyed the first issue. Some people may have not liked this because it's the same old story when it comes to Morbius. I want to cure myself. I became a vampire, and now I drank some stuff, and oh look, I'm still a monster. I went backward. But I liked it. I thought the artwork was really good, and I liked when he turned even to a more crazy-ass monster. It looks like he's going to have, his powers are going to be even more exaggerated, right? Instead of just lusting for blood or whatnot, now it looks like he's going to be able to morph into a more monstrous-like creature, and he looks like he's going to be killing some victims, and so, yeah, it looks like it could be a lot of fun, continuing with that great artwork as well. So 32 pages, $3.99. Next, moving on to the top 5. What made number 5 this week? The Teen Titans Judas Contract. This is issue 1 from the Dark Multiverse line. This is obviously DC's What If comics. And this series has been overall pretty good, right? We get the Infinite Crisis that was really good. I like the Superman one that was really good. Blackest Night, not so much. But this is a pretty important DC story, and I want to see what the story has to offer for its readers when it comes to the Judas Contract. And it looks like Tara is going to betray her father in this particular issue instead of, I guess, the Teen Titans or whatnot. So this is 48 pages. This is $5.99. A little pricey, but if it's worth it to you, you know, hey, why not, right? All right, next we're moving on to number 4. And number 4 this week goes to Dollhouse, the Dollhouse family. This is issue 2. Now, the first issue of this was creepy as hell, okay? You wind up getting to see this little girl who gets this dollhouse from her aunt, and she winds up finding out that the people are alive inside. Okay, and the dollhouse sits there and makes a deal with the little girl and says, you know, if you want me to take care of your abusive father, you know, you can live in the dollhouse forever. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I want to live with my mom. So what she does is she takes matters into her own hands and she freaking beats her father with a freaking head with a hammer. And he's lying on the ground with the freaking blood all over the place and shit. It's crazy, dude. It's insane. And what you're thinking is that it looks like all the people that are alive in the dollhouse were once real people. So will this little girl eventually make this deal with a dollhouse or not? So I don't know, but this is a great book. Affordable book, I guess, 32 pages, $3.99. All right, so moving on to our top 3. This is a new series that's coming in, and this is Symbiote Spider-Man. This is the Alien Reality issue 1. So we had Symbiote Spider-Man come out a couple months ago. It ended with the relationship of Black Hat and Peter Parker, and we get to see Mysterio involved, finding out that he had an alien symbiote suit that was alive, and he took possession of it. So this is the sequel to that, and this time we have the Hobgoblin that's involved in this particular series. And the little description that it says is that, where did Hobgoblin get these new powers? The original creative team from Symbiote Spider-Man returned for the next installment of the classic tales from the Alien Costume Saga. I liked it. I thought Greg Land's artwork was good in this series, and Peter David's writing was awesome too. 40 pages, $4.99. All right, so moving on to number 2. One of the best DC series of the year. This is Batman, Curse of the White Knight. This is issue 5. Such a good book with the death of Commissioner Gordon and the emotional aspect of Barbara Gordon going out there and trying to get revenge and over Azrael, and it kind of failed. She wound up getting her back broken, and in this universe, could this change her into Oracle? I don't know. We'll see what happens, but there's a lot of shit going on in this book. Sean Murphy's writing is awesome. He should write Batman all the time. His artwork is outstanding. This is a book that you should not pass up. If you haven't read the original, read that one, read this one, read anything that has to do with the White Knight universe. It's fantastic. All right, so what is number 1 this week? Well, this time it's got to go to X-Force. This is issue 2, is it 2? 3? Yeah, issue 3, I think that we're on now. Yeah, issue 3. So, first issue, you wind up getting the death of Professor Xavier. Spoiler, in case you didn't know that, but it's been out for a while now. And when it comes to issue 2, we wind up seeing some investigation, right? We wind up seeing that Jean Grey is going to try to resurrect Professor Xavier, but they got to get things right. And then we see some investigation with Wolverine and Quentin Quire, and they wind up finding Domino. And my theory was right, that they took the skin from Domino and they actually put them on themselves, and that's how they invaded Krakoa, thinking that it was Domino. So after this investigation happened, we wound up seeing that Quentin Quire and Wolverine found Domino, and she was in this tank, and she is being, I guess, kept alive in this tank, but tortured. She's all skinned up. She's got a bite chunk out from her. I mean, she is in rough shape, and that's how the book left off, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. It's a great read. I think by far, in my opinion, it's the best X book out there besides the main book that Hickman is writing. That's my opinion. Everyone's got their own. You could see a ton of rankings out there from YouTubers when it comes to the X books, but X-Force is my number 1 book. And yeah, and there you have it, guys. So there's a lot of books out there that I didn't mention, but like Immortal Hulk is out there that I didn't mention. We have Annihilation Scourge, Silver Surfer, and Better Ray Bill that's out there as well. That's coming out this week. So there's a lot of stuff out there, guys. Be prepared to spend some money if you're willing to, because there's a lot of great books coming out next week. So guys, in the comments below, I want to hear what your top 10 most anticipated comics are for the week. Maybe your top 5 or top 3, or just maybe your number 1 if you don't read that many comics. And guys, as always, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Glad you love this series, and I love you guys too. Not getting too mushy on you. Anyway, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notifications, give it a like. Guys, thank you so much. And this is Comic Book Corner 2.0. Take care. Bye.